superior information. I learned as a young man from my mentor that knowledge provokes thought, thoughts provoke actions, and I added when I grew up that actions determine productivity. If you want to be highly productive, your actions must change. If your actions are going to change, your thinking must change. If your thinking is going to change, your knowledge must change. What are you currently reading? It is said that our library is a prophecy of our future. And yes, that is very correct. What are you reading? You can't spend your time complaining. Your future does not lie in the hands of government. Because as a matter of fact, government can put all the money in your hands, but our money will rise and fall to the level of our thoughts. Give 500,000 naira to someone who's rich in thought. Give him some time. It'll become 5 million, 50, 500. Give 5 million naira to someone who's poor in thought. It's just a matter of time. He will run it down to 500 naira. Because every resource in your hands will take on the form of the quality of your mind. Every resource in your hand will eventually take on the form of the quality of your mind. That's why people get big loans, big grants, and give them 2 years. They're looking for the next one. They're looking for the next one. But there are people who carry a multiplier factor on their inside. Information empowers you with exponential ability. Information empowers you with exponential ability. What book are you reading now? I'm asking you for the second time, and I'm certain it's not the last time I'm going to ask you today. How many books have you read in 2025? Everybody wants things to change for them. Everybody wants, we have a big list. New Year's resolutions. But I wish we had New Year commitments. I wish we had New Year strategies, New Year responsibilities. Because the wise will make responsibilities of what the poor want to do once in a while, only when it's convenient. I've seen some of the most busy people in the world will tell you how many books they read every month. And some of the poorest people in the world don't have time to read. Isn't it amazing? I was reading an article one time, and I'm thinking this was an article by Bill Gates. And he's talking about a book that Warren Buffett, whether recommended or gave him to read or something. I'm like, okay, I see. The billionaires are exchanging notes. The billionaires are exchanging notes. Richard Branson once had a brand that was bigger than British Airways. Virgin Atlantic at one time was bigger than British Airways. But he tells you how he read a book titled Small is Beautiful that changed him, transformed him, and set him on that path where he would become a billionaire. Don't envy what people have. Learn what they know. Don't envy what people have. Learn what they know. Our young people must destroy the entitlement consciousness, the entitlement mentality. You must destroy it and start learning. You can't control what will be given to you. You can only control what you're empowered to create. Never forget it. Let me close by sharing a testimony. And I'm sure it's going to help somebody. We're just getting started. I'm just warming the ground. And the next speaker is all set and is going to come charge you up. Several years ago, when I was going to move to the U.S., a friend of mine had told me. Now, I'd been going there. Before I moved, I'd probably gone there close to 20 times. But a friend of mine told me, he said there is this window with which you can get a special green card. And I know you fit, and mentioned some of the things I was already doing at that time. And so they introduced me to it. So I decided to apply. What did I apply as? For the first time, even though I'd been going to that country back and forth so many times, I didn't know that there was a special category green card called exceptional abilities. And different people fit into that window. Entertainers, writers, speakers, inventors, people with uncanny scientific ability, people with uncanny business acumen, different kinds of people, musicians, even comedians, highly rated comedians, would fit into that category. By that time, I think I'd written close to 15 or over 15 books. By that time, of course, I'd been speaking around the world quite a bit. So what did I do? I got records of my books. I got some of the books. I got friends and organizations from around the world that I had spoken for to write me reference letters and so on and so forth, and put all of these evidences. And by the way, that year we applied, I was awarded the key of the city of Kenton in the United States. Now, that's a big thing. That's one of the biggest honors that a mayor can do. And I brought the mayor to the House of Assembly. So I do not remember whether you were there at the time, but Honorable John Gore was the speaker at the time. And so this friend of mine was the mayor of Kenton at that time, and he was still in tenure, right? So anyways, so I had gone to that city and spoken several times until they gave me a citation and gave me the city key. So I have the key to the city of Kenton. I have it. I mean, now I have it. I have it, right? So anyways, and I put all of this information together. And yes, my PhD was in view at the time. I put everything. And that's how I applied. That's how I applied. Take whatever you're doing today seriously, because it will count for something very soon. It will count for something very soon. Don't just sit and you write on Facebook, oh, public speaker. Train yourself. Writer par excellence. And there's not an article that you've written yet. Train yourself to write. Push yourself in thought until your results reflect it. Lastly, good morning. So I will call Honorable Hilary Bisong, and then after that we can take questions. We'll just keep engaging, and we want to fire you up for all the time that you have here, and I'm sure you're going to learn something. Again, keep your hearts open, get yourselves ready. I hope you came with a writing pad. If you didn't come with a writing pad, that's not so very nice. You have to write down something, whether you're taking notes on your device or writing, but it's good to strike that pen to paper, and so you can go back to the things that you're going to hear today. Right Honorable Dr. Hilary Bisong is the Chief Whip, Cross River State House of Assembly. With a rousing ovation, can we make him welcome? Come on, make it bigger. Come on, people.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, Calabar. I'm sure there's something burning in your belly. You can't listen to him, and then you still remain the same. There was a man called Saul. I'm sure everybody, you know him. On his way to Damascus, he had an encounter, and he becomes who? Paul. I'm sure by the time you leave here today, you're going to have an encounter and a shift in your mentality. So let's give you up for him. I want to start by saying I'm highly disappointed. If pastor called for a crusade and say this crusade, you're going to get, all the girls will have husbands. All the boys will be billionaires. The limb will walk. I'm sure this place will not be enough. We'll be looking for a stadium. Or if the governor has called for a meeting, a political meeting, this place will be jam-packed. Or if they say they are sharing palliative, there will be no space. But this is who we are. This is who we are. This hall is empty. Just because we are talking about an ecosystem, an economy that is intangible but very influential and dominates every facet of your living. The hall is empty. But I want to do something for me before I go on. Please, can you stand up? Turn to the person beside you. Give the person a handshake and tell him you're welcome. You are those that will add value to Cross River, add value to Nigeria, add value to Africa. You are those that have made a difference. And we are going to rise together. Sit down. Now, doctor was very kind. He gave me all my flowers, all my accolades. So let me start by saying, yes, I'm the chief whip of the 10th House of Assembly, but I didn't come here with a whip. So don't bother. And so this meeting is going to be very interactive. It's going to be, we're going to learn, because there'll be time for question and answer. So I'm happy to be here. Obviously, I had a lot of things doing. I was supposed to be out of town. And I say to myself, the rent to pay on earth is service to humanity. Let me stay back and render this service. That's why I'm here today. And I'm here with young Cross Riverians, young entrepreneurs, young leaders. So I'm excited. Because you are the future of Cross River, the unspent currency of Nigeria. You are the heartbeat of Mother Africa. Upon you seated here, on your shoulders, lies the rise of Nigeria and the fall of Nigeria. You people determine if Nigeria is going to rise or it's going to just merely survive like it's surviving in our time. I hope you people will rise to the occasion. I've been asked to talk about it that is profoundly very simple, deceptively simple, but yes, very profound in transformation. How to be valuable. How valuable. I'm not going to talk about values in the eyes of your peers, or value on your social media, asking, where is Hillary? I hope you're following me. Those are the value I'm going to talk about. Now, I'm going to tell you first two uncomfortable truths. The first one I will say, write it down. Being busy is not equals to value. Busy is not equals to value. To be busy is easy. To be valued is hard and difficult. You can be the busiest person in this hall, busiest person in Nigeria, busiest person in Cross River State, but you're adding no value. Business without value is noise. You're making noise. When you're busy and act impact, it becomes value. So what impact are you making that will translate to value? The next thing I'm going to say to you is that the world is unfair. I'm sure everybody here will believe me. So that's not an uncomfortable truth. That's the real truth that you should believe. Seriously, the world is unfair. Nigeria, Africa is unfair. Limited funding, poor infrastructure, talents not rewarded. Yes, but you know what? That is the sacred weapon you hold in your hand. Because that's what makes you curious, make you resilient, make you ask questions, make you become more creative. And that provides opportunities for you to solve those problems and become valuable. So stop complaining. Some years ago, by the way, doctor, I was in the assembly. Yes, I am among the class of privileged people who is doing third term. In fact, from Obubura to the Golden Hills of Umbaliko, no local government, no state constituency have done 3 terms. It's only within from Ugep down here. Especially my bookie. You dare not try it. But I'm doing the third term. So I was there with Speaker Jongo. I was there with Speaker Elvet. Sorry, Speaker Eteng, who is a senator now. I'm here with Speaker Elvet. So I was available. So whatever I said, I'm in the mouth of 2. What did I say? So I'm testifying that truly he brought the mayor. Now, I want to use myself. You may say that, why are you talking? Your mother is the VC of Unica. I wasn't born when my mother was VC of Unica. I hope you know that. So when I was born, she was not VC of Unica. And when I was born, she was not professor either. So I have the same living that every typical African child will go through. So don't say I'm a privileged kid. I'm not. I work hard to get to where I am. I finished school in 2022. Sorry, not 22. 2002. Sorry, my dear. 2002. In 2003, nobody went for service in Unica. So in 2004, I was mobilized for service. So I did service 2004, 2005, and then I proceeded to do masters in geophysics. Geology first degree, proceeded to do master in geophysics in ABU. So I've never done politics. I don't know 𝐀𝐤𝐭. 𝐀𝐤𝐭 doesn't know me. When they were doing 2007 elections for 𝐀𝐤𝐭 to take over from Donald, I wasn't around. In fact, that election, I was in Chad, Lake Chad, we were doing mapping. But cut it short, election finished. I was done with my master's, relatively very still young, and I was a plane coming back to Calabar. I met a Reverend Father on the plane. His name is Reverend Father Francis Agantemiworo. Those from Ogoja will know him. I never served any politician, so at least I can see somebody who can testify. I'm not a boy to anybody. I don't have a boy mentality. On the plane, I had a discussion. And in that discussion, I provided value. When you are within your environment, be conscious. Be conscious of your environment. Take advantage of the environment. Sometimes you may not have a second chance. So the first time that you have, hold on to it. Make your presence be felt. If you are in this room and we finish and you leave, and we cannot say, where is that girl with pink? Or where was that guy with red tie? That means you didn't leave any value behind. I provided solutions. I envisioned solutions because I was aware of the environment that I am. Unknown to me, I was coming to come and pick an appointment later with the University of Calabar. Late Professor 𝐀𝐤𝐭 came to ABU, and I'd helped him to digitize his data free of charge. And so he didn't want me to go to geology. He wanted me to go to geophysics. So he hurriedly picked the letter. I was coming for that. But I ended up not even, I didn't get that letter from him. God bless his soul. But my discussion with Father Warren on the plane changed everything. I didn't know who he was. But he came and went to 𝐀𝐤𝐭 and said, look, I found a young man on the plane that you need to be part of your government. He has a solution to provide. I didn't carry ballot box. I did not slap anybody. I didn't even vote for 𝐀𝐤𝐭. I wasn't around. But because I have a solution that brings value, I was invited. Young perseverance in this hall. So people, within your environment, locate the problem. Provide solution. Let me tell you, don't be surprised, people don't pay for solution. Solution brings value. People pay for value. And value has no address. People will look for you. And that's how I was looked for. And I became the first personal assistant to the government of Cross River State, headed by 𝐀𝐤𝐭 on student affairs. The office was not created. I created the office. Today it's institutionalized. I didn't vote for 𝐀𝐤𝐭. So once you create value, you'll be looked for. So the world is unfair. Nigeria is unfair. But those limitations are opportunities for you to create values. Are opportunities for you, because if it is fair, then there's no value where you can add anymore. So those are not challenges. That's an opportunity to create value. So the first steps now, those statements were uncomfortable truth that I needed you to know. But the first thing I would say, if you want to add value, I have just said the first thing, solve real problems. I just provide the solution. I was called. So solve real problems. Ranging from all the problems in Nigeria, in Cross River, in your community, from agriculture to health to technology. Agriculture to agri-tech. You can bridge the gap between the farm and the market logistics. You can develop apps that connect the farmers to the buyer. You can develop apps that teaches people farming technology. You're providing solutions. I know of two young, I think either June or August, thereabouts. I was in Ethiopia with the vice president delegation of United Nations Food Security System. A boy and a girl was in that Ethiopia. They are not farmers. What are they doing in Lagos? They are connecting farmers to buyers, just providing solutions. And they are doing well. They look healthier in their pocket more than me, than a right honorable. Is it in health? There's telemedicine. You can develop apps, health apps, that people sit down in their comfort now and access their doctor. There's a young lady from Obudu. She's in the United Kingdom. No, sorry, she's in London. She just finished her master's. She designed an app. She won an award where mental health, you sit in your comfort zone, access doctor, access healthcare. You can develop that. I can go on. Is it in technology? Obviously, I don't need to say. The two biggest things that happened to us in technology are two young men. They didn't wait for perfection. They provide solutions into the system. Anyway, the solution brought value. And I'm sure you know the two ones in fintech, in financial service or fintech. It's Paystack and Flutter Waves. The system wasn't perfect. Just as they complained, they never used to complain. And so you can solve real problems. The next thing I would tell you is learn fast, but fail faster. Look funny, right? How can you learn fast and then fail faster? The truth is that if you're not failing, then you're not trying. Because if you're trying, you must fail. So failure is not the enemy. Complacency is the enemy. Failure teaches you lessons no classroom can teach you. It makes you become more creative. It makes you become resilient. It makes you become more determined. I know of a young man in Lagos who created an app, artisan to buyers. The first 1 week, he was busy moving about, so the first 1 month, to look for investors. The app failed. The investors were laughing. Friends were mocking at him, but he refused to fail. He went about asking questions, so you can turn your curiosity to currency. Asking questions, doing feedback. As I speak to you, if you're in Lagos, you can know what it means. Go to marketplace. Artisans to buyers is the biggest thing. People don't go to look for anything. Your plumber in your house, you just open there, you see plumber number, you call. He's not a plumber. Electrician, you open there, you invite electrician. For any work you do, he's having his own. Today is one of the biggest tools for livelihood support in Lagos. He refused to fail. Don't be afraid to dare. You need to do something others are not doing. That's what sets you apart. If you do the conventional thing, then you're just still someone else living. The next thing I would say, the next step, build relationship and not networks. What did I say? Build relationship and not networks. Relationship is currency. Most of you are just fascinated with networks. Selfie network, LinkedIn, Instagram reels. Those are content opportunity. Those are not networks. Those are content opportunity and not relationship. Let me give you an example of true relationship. If you take the Igbo apprentice system, who is from Igbo here? Raise up your hand. I love you guys. I love you guys. You are the soul of entrepreneurship in Nigeria. You are the fighting spirit that lives in Nigeria. I love Igbo people. I'm a cross-border par excellence, but I admire them. You know the Igbo entrepreneur system? A young chap goes to meet a renowned entrepreneur. You learn a trade. Reinvest the knowledge. And then you're settled. You become independent. So, true relationship is service. You must serve. When you serve, you are trusted. You must be trusted. It is those two components that make your guy settle you. So most of us don't have relationship. You have networks, selfie, posting on Instagram, posting on that. I know of somebody who seems to be very busy on his all social medias. He's intimidating people, snapping pictures with VIP, posting meetings with investors. You know what? He looks busy or he looks valuable. Social media makes you valuable. The society makes you valuable. Social gathering makes you valuable. But in your closet, in reality, you're empty. Value is not perception. Value is substance. Value is measurable. And it's not measured by the likes or applause. It's measured by the lives you touch, by someone that you lived, by a solution you provide. The next thing I will say to you is embrace discomfort. You can't find value in your comfort zone. You cannot. You want to know your potentials? Young guys and young ladies in this room, please step out, explore. When you step out, you know your potentials. Once you are localized, you are in your comfort zone. You cannot. You don't have the mentality of what you talk about, entitlement mentality. Oh, I'm limited by my family background. Everybody here is above 25, right? Okay. Even if it's 20, from 20 and above. Or the Nigerian law says 18 and above, right? Okay, before 18, whatever happened to you is the fault of your family. So your parents were lazy, your grandfather was lazy, everything was lazy. But after 18, by the law, you are an adult, right? So moving forward from 18, who are you blaming? Hillary or Dr. Akomaye or your grandparent? You're blaming yourself. You are now the reference point. Out of 18, you are not the reference point. Because at that time, you can bet. So if you have a child that's 18, the child should be blaming your grandmother. The child, you become the reference point, you become the foundation, you become the environment for your child to grow up. So you cannot sit on your comfort zone. You need. So you must travel if you have the logistics. You must learn. You must attend conferences like this and forgo a birthday party and forgo something else to be here. Most of you who are here, you sacrifice your mate, so you left your comfort zone and you're here. That is how value is created. I will say to you, you need to keep learning and learn continuously. You know what? Nigerian challenges are very complex, very unique, and evolving. Politics, technology, business model change every day, every second. So if you stop reading, stop learning, you stop being valuable. If you keep learning, keep reading, attend conference like this, you evolve with those daily challenges and you can provide solutions. So what are you going to choose? Stop reading and be dead. A lot of people are living, they're already dead. I don't want to say what he said. He didn't say that. I don't know why he was shy to say that when he was encouraging you to read. A lot of people are living, but they're already dead. Once you die mentally, you're dead. You're just waiting for the day they'll put you in casket. What are you doing when you're mentally you're dead? Your mind, your knowledge, your head control everything about you. There's a book called Mind Map. You can map America. You can live like American in Calabar. You can live like Bill Gates. You can live like Dangote in your house. It's Mind Map. And you talk about little things matter or small things. I didn't know what to say, but there's a book. I'll send it to him. You need to read Small Things Matter. I'm happy for that. Small things matter. You need to keep learning. It's very important because you need to keep evolving with the daily challenges. That's how you can create value. Another thing that is very important, dear friends, is leadership responsibility. Value leadership in your community, in your friendship, in your workplace, in wherever you find yourself. Leadership is not a position. Leadership is not an office. It's not a rank. So don't say, after I'm not in the House of Assembly, it's a chief whip. Oh, he's the governor. Oh, he's the local government chairman. Oh, is the leadership is not a position. Once you can look left, look right, and lift someone and give a shoulder to somebody, you are providing leadership. And that's what is lacking in our society. And leadership values navigate everything. And the difference between two countries with similar natural resources, similar human capital resources, is what? Is leadership value. And I weep for our country, Nigeria. Each time I have opportunity to say it, I feel saddened in my heart. What are the leadership values in Nigeria? Before you even move to in America that you're talking about, when you campaign on family values. I've never told anybody that voted for me my family values, and they keep voting for me. Do we really have them? Do we have leadership value in Nigeria? And it starts from recruitment. Very funny story. So if you are going to employ somebody in Zenith Bank, or even in fast food joints, anyway, they will tell you first degree, working experience, they will say 2-1. They will say minimum of 2-2, right? Fine. That is okay in the bank. Now, that is the value of that job, right? Because it starts with recruitment, the criteria. Now, you want to recruit the president of Nigeria, the governor of Cross River State, that make policies that control the bank that you are employing somebody with first class in the bank, or the lecturer with PhD. A man we're going to make policies that will control that person. What is the recruitment criteria? The values for the recruitment. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is the So leadership value is important. So a man cannot give what you don't have. In fact, let me shock you. If you go to section 313 or 331, thereabout, where is talking about interpretation? The section talking about now is the one we talked about the criteria. If you go to interpretation, that's why when they take somebody, that's why, I'm sorry, let me just say it. I'm sure I'm safe here, but it's a public discourse. It's not looking down on anybody who mounts the stool of president. Now, I've asked to pray for our leaders, and that power comes from God. Right? But, God is not on earth. So when they tell us power comes from God, it's true. But God is not more earth. From the day Jesus Christ was put on a judgment. He's a human being that judge Jesus now. Now God can't judge him. From that day, and what did God say to us? Going to inherit the earth. Did he say going to inherit heaven? They say God says, I believe I'm a Christian. No. God, power comes from God. Isn't it? But we donate the power to the person we want. Let me ask you in truth. Some leaders who have governed Nigeria, are you saying it's God that gave us to us? My father God cannot give us such leaders. No. My father's God cannot give us such leaders. No. And so when you take such leaders to court, you can't win them. That's why when you take them to certificate forgery or certificate tender, you cannot, because in that section I'm talking about, they say if you can just speak English, you can read and write. They even say that if you work in a place, a private or public sector place for 10 years, like INEC recognized, if I'm INEC chairman, this is my friend looking at me, works in Mr. Beast and I like him, I recognize the place, you can be president, no? I'm just. They even said that any other qualification in the eyes of INEC, go read it, it's there. What leadership value do we have? But, I'm sure I'm time bound. Let me not. Doctor, I'm sure you should be doing this like twice a year. Yeah, because it's a lovely interaction. If we don't deliberately produce leaders, for tomorrow, and then tomorrow will never come. But I hope you know that the tomorrow is now. And the value you want to add is now. So I'm going to leave you with a closing challenge. Young leaders of Calabar, I want to leave you with a challenge. What problem are you solving today? Are you chasing being busy or you're chasing value? Are you chasing comfort or you're chasing growth? Are you chasing title recognition or you're chasing impact? Please, I want to beg you, chase value, chase growth, chase impact. If you do what I'm saying, you're not just going to be, what will I say now, to have a job, earn a degree, or have a business. You're going to have impact. You're going to have influence. You're going to have legacy. Be bold. Be daring. Do you hear me? Be bold. Be daring. If the world today, first before I say that, let me let you know, if it provides value, you're not just going to live like any other ones have left. You're going to inspire generation, present and behind you. The world today doesn't need people who are busy. The world today needs people who are valuable, who can add value. I believe as I see the fire in your eyes, people are prepared to add value to your community, add value to Cross-River. Calabar, let's rise together. Thank you and God bless.
I believe that deserves a better round of applause. Wow. Please, one more time. Let's put our hands together. How many of you enjoyed that session? Yes, very, very powerful session. My notes are full, and we also have questions. Yes, please, I know that some people are still writing their questions. Some have handed it to the ushers. If you have questions, please write them very quickly so that we can take them as fast as possible. Okay, so we're going to be combining the questions for both sessions that we've had. So we've had some questions from Dr. Akomaye's session and some other questions from Dr. Hilary's session. So we're going to be taking them right away. The first question says, the year 2026 is fast approaching, and I have this fear creeping in, which is starting out well and stopping mid-year. How do I gain the ability to start next year right and sustain it till the end of the year?
Okay, how do I gain the ability to start next year right and sustain it till the end of the year? Number one, you must know clearly what you want to achieve. One time I spoke on goals engineering, and there's a disconnect sometimes between setting goals and achieving them because some people set goals arbitrarily. You cannot set goals that do not connect with your competence or capacity. And even if you have goals that don't connect with your competencies, your current competencies and capacity, it must be part of your goals to develop the competencies and capacities that help you make sense of the goals. You can't just have a goal, right? Because every goal requires action, and every action needs you to have the ability to do something. So know clearly what a preferred 2026 is. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get that out. Oh, okay. Okay. So the other speaker is the one trying to reach me. Please, can you check for Honorable John Goldlebo? So know clearly where you want to go, right? The navigational system of our lives is activated from setting the coordinates, and your vision serves as the coordinates. Know exactly. Don't be vague when you're setting a goal. Be specific and be realistic, because someone can just say, oh, I would like to have 500 million next year, and you've never touched 100,000 that you've created by yourself. That's a challenge. I'm not saying it's not possible, but you're not being realistic because you're going to overload your faith. Don't overload your faith. You have to be realistic. So set a clear picture of what you consider as preferred. Number two, interpret the picture. By interpreting that picture, it means you're going to ask yourself, what are the responsibilities required to go in that direction or to achieve that thing, right? So this is what I would do. I would use my vision as the blueprint for my preparation. Everybody's vision should be the blueprint for their preparation. This is how I want my next year to look like. And then you begin to prepare. You bring it back to the drawing board and you start preparing based on the interpretation of that vision. You have to interpret it until you know what to do, right? What to do. So use your vision as the blueprint for your preparation. And then three is commitment. If you're going to sustain that energy until the end of the year, you need commitment. Nobody can be committed for you. You have to be committed. And for me, one of the things that inspires me to be committed, Honorable, please, you can come up. Thank you. Can we welcome the Honorable Commissioner for Finance, Cross River State, Honorable Dr. Michael Oderi. So, commitment. I like to remind myself of where I said I want to go. I also like to remind myself of how different my life will be when I achieve it, and then I stick with it. That's how to do it.
Put your hands together. Thank you so much, sir, for that precise answer. Okay, this question is directed to you, sir, Dr. Bissell. And this person says, I have a solution to prefer. But how do I meet and speak with the people that need to hear it? I have a solution to prefer. So I think in the course of speaking, he said, should have a solution that brings value. To Dr. How do I meet with the people that need to hear? I think you said you met with someone in the plane. Maybe this person, the plane is very high. So he said, they seem very far from my reach.
All right. I don't know who the person is, but we like shortcuts. Why do you want to use the shortcut? I just gave you a story, an encounter. And then I took advantage of it. I'm sure within your circle, you've had this opportunity and you didn't take advantage of it. When you have a solution, the solution will bring value. That's what I said. And people pay for value. Except you're saying some solutions that need funding, or solutions that will need legislation, or solutions that will need policy. And depending on the solutions, you know the sector to go. If you need a solution, if it's government related, then you should be able to look for the government agency. Even if it's the governor, let me give you people a story. You know, a Transcorp used to have a fax machine. I don't know, maybe I don't know if people know it. I used to communicate with Donald Duke as governor. What did I do? I found out that Donald comes to office in the morning, leave in the afternoon, and do supervision. I'm sure if you're in Calabar, you will see him outside and the rest do supervision. He has so much energy. Now he comes back to the office by 7 and stays till 10, 11. So and then the fax machine is on his desk. So I go to this Transcorp. I fax a letter to Donald, and he gets it through nobody. Let me tell you, wherever you want to reach, you don't need to pass through somebody. If you go to DHL and send a mail to the governor, and they type there secret, nobody open it. The governor open it by himself. I'm sorry, I'm just saying something. So wherever you want to communicate with, find out the best architecture you need to use to communicate with that person. If it's a solution that has to do with tech, find out people who support such a startup. We have a lot of government agencies that support startup. I don't know why DG Medal is not here. Maybe it's next time we bring some certain agencies that can relate with startup. Medal is a micro enterprise development agency. They incubate a lot of ideas. Even the Ministry of Science and Technology, they incubate a lot of ideas. You know, at the point in time, we have an incubation center in Tinapa. Now, please permit me, doctor, let me just do something. My friend and brother, Mike Odera, is the Commissioner for Finance. He just did something very remarkable for Cross University. We thought we lost our treasure. With the support of His Excellency, he put his legs on the panel. I can announce to us, and I'm sure everybody knows that we have recovered Tinapa back. So please, can we clap for him?
Wow.
And so, my greatest fear when we lost Tinapa was not the building, was not the infrastructure. Each time I think about it, is the knowledge city. Are you aware that we have a knowledge city in Tinapa? An incubation center. Please, Commissioner, sir, I'm making a public appeal. Don't just look at the infrastructure. Please pay special attention to that knowledge city, that incubation center. And then, no, just pay special attention to that. So I'm sure I'm talking to the person. So whatever idea you have, or whatever solutions you have, you can still, after this, you can meet me personally. I can help you out. You can meet Mike. You can even meet him. Because sometimes when you share knowledge, there's knowledge theft. So I'm happy that you didn't share it. Just keep it. When we discuss, we'll be able. But any idea, any value you want to have, somebody will need it. A community will need it. And a business will need it. And a multinational company will need it. Provided it's within the surface of the earth. Do you understand? No ideas. Sometimes its ideas are bettered and refined for the purpose of it. So dreaming is not bad. Keep dreaming. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So I think while you're still here, you just answered the last question. It's a very simple one-sentence question. Person said, so when you were 18 years old, how did you think?
Well, how was I thinking? Okay. I used to have certain fantasies. One of those fantasies that on Sunday, I would hurriedly prepare for church. Because after church, they would take us to 𝐀𝐤𝐿 house. Do people know where Governor 𝐀𝐤𝐿 house is? In state housing. That used to be a very beautiful place in Calabar. We go there to snap. Once they don't take you there, you'll not be happy. Those are my fantasies. And then I come to this place. This place was like my social center, not just for reading. That's why, as a member of first when I was with 𝐀𝐤𝐭, the largest book ever donated to this place was pioneered by me, 20,000 copies of book, through my uncle, Ambassador Maurice Ekpa, that I, through the governor 𝐀𝐤𝐭, I made him chairman library board. But unfortunately, I don't know where those books are. This place used to be a social center. I used to dream to come here. I don't know if I answer, but I know what the person is talking about. You know, a doctor answered a question of setting your dreams, your vision, midway, that and that. Let me just answer this one by saying something about that equally. You want to set dreams, and you're setting dreams that are not your passion. It's difficult to achieve. Anything that you cannot do with effortlessly, and it's a tax upon you. Tax is burden. You don't enjoy doing it. That cannot be your passion. Sorry, that cannot be your dream. So set your dreams according to your passion. If you convert your passion to an economic envelope, it earns you currency. Whoever you see on the stage now, they just convert their passion to economic envelope. So what is your passion? Convert it to an economic envelope. Now, at 18, I already took up leadership responsibility. Unknown to me. If I knew I would be in the leadership or I've been an investor in human race. You know, I'm an investor in human race. Yeah. If I knew I would be an investor, I won't go to follow this man and do geology. When I was carrying stones. But my passion was there. In geology department, the first day I attended lecture, and I was 17. Lecture. No, it was not lecture. It was like orientation for remedial students. I did remedial. So I'm not so intelligent. I didn't pass JAM to read medicine. I failed. I had whether 198 or there about 199. So I'm a child of a second chance. So don't be afraid to fail. Right? So if I've passed and I'm in medicine, I won't attend that orientation class for remedial students. That time they call it remedial. Now it's what I call pre-degree. Professor 𝐀𝐤𝐭 of chemistry was the sub-dean. Now, he came and addressed us and said that we are the highest contributor to the Faculty of Science Students Association post. That we are like 2,000 something. When he asked a question, I stood up my hand. Maybe because I was familiar with the university environment, because my mom's a lecturer. And I said, Prof, why are we not on the student union board if we contribute the highest resources? And he turned to me and said, you're going to be remedial senator. At 17, I became remedial senator. I moved from being remedial senator to being senator in year one. I became Senate president, and I became Faculty of Science, not president, Faculty of Science, the secretary. In fact, I renamed the faculty, it was called FASA. I renamed it to NANS. In fact, Professor Fyong now, the new VC, was the sub-dean. He can tell this story I'm saying. And even my friend and brother can tell this story. So what am I saying? At that time, I saw the trait. What do senators do? They make laws. What am I doing today? So the advocacy in me was already burning. But my parent gave me another field of directions. Parents are a problem. Yeah, please don't be a problem to your child. Let your child follow his passion. Maybe if I've done political science, I will come out with a first class. Yeah, and not the 2-2 that I came out with. I came out with 2-2, and my mom never forgave me. But good announcement, she's happy with me. And I know why? I've earned a PhD. So at that 18, that's what I was doing. But again, what was I thinking? I was thinking God. Again, we have so many things in common with him. I was a mass servant, and he was a mass servant. As 18, I was thinking God. So if I'm not reading, I'm not in this place. I'm in church. So God factor is important. You know, life is 2 seasons. Whatever we are saying here, it revolves around 2 seasons, dear friends. Sowing time, harvest time. What are you sowing today that you want to reap tomorrow? I sowed at that time. So when God is blessing me, now don't be surprised. Because I sowed. Thank you.
Please put your hands together again for those beautiful answers. Dr. Michael Oderi, Commissioner for Finance, wants to make an input in that. Sir.
What's that? Oh, yeah. That last question, what did I think when I was 18? First of all, I want to apologize for coming late. On Asabi Asibi now, the office is crazy. But, I mean, for my brother and friend, and for us, I mean, the most important aspect of governance is us. We are not just the future, we are the now. And the way we think affects how the people, how the leaders behave and react. But the thing is, I'm sure there's a part of the Bible, Pastor will help me, that says, when I was a child, I thought like a child, right? But trust me, the things you thought about at 18, the things you saw, the environment around you, try to shape the kind of things, the kind of future you can envisage. I don't know if any of us ever saw a flashy, fine car moving. I was like, I'm going to buy that car when I get old. Yeah, so, but what did we do after 18 to position us to get in that car is very important. People should not mind this man. He's a privileged child. Yeah? He's a privileged child. I say he's a privileged child because at this particular time we find ourselves, not altering what he said. It makes a lot of sense. If you like to play football, you know how to play football, but you make money from football, right? But it also makes a lot of sense to know that you have been trying to sing for 10 years. You've not done an album that left your street. Only your family and friends have heard that album. And then you are still pursuing music because you love music. You need to be able to differentiate between the things that will put food on your table and the things that will make you excited. There's a difference between a job and a passion. Something you enjoy. That's why in some CVs you see they say, what are your hobbies? That thing that you like, that you love, it falls under your hobbies. If your hobbies pay the bills, you are living in heaven on earth. But please, every time you try to structure your life, structure it in a way that you understand the economic environment around you. Okay? Create the things that will provide you with the resources that you need to meet your needs. And then the extra one, you take it and pursue those your hobbies. Along the line, sometimes your hobbies can now start making money and overtake that job. You cannot drop the job and continue your hobbies. Please don't abandon the thing that will give you money and pursue the thing that makes you smile. Because the smile will run away someday and you become sad. Anyway, I just thought to add to my brother and friend, but and to tell you that he was a privileged child. So he can afford to drop he can afford to drop the thing that gives him money and pursue passion. Politician. Anyway, I'm not a politician, so I don't think like a politician. All right, thanks, Anne. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. I'm going to combine two questions together. It kind of relates to what Honorable just said. The first one says, I have a friend who was very passionate about entertainment and movies. He had a 5-year plan, this 10-year plan of going into movie production fully. Along the line, he met with an old school friend who told him of an opportunity in a tech company. He took the job and is now a millionaire in dollars. And is doing well in the tech space. Many times we ask people about their 5-year vision, and we have all sorts of answers. But how do we marry a preconceived vision that you have for your life and what comes to you like a divine arrangement or opportunity? How do you prepare for a vision you don't know? And then, okay.
Okay. sometimes it's better to talk to people based on your experiences so that they understand that you're not just talking because of literature, it's because it is real life, it's reality. This man said something, we have a lot of things in common. From being science students and doing the hardest maths I think I ever did in my life was advanced calculus and analytical geometry. I don't know why I had to do that, you know. But yeah, unlike him, they say he's not a brilliant child. Me, I know that I used to try. And circumstances will make you think you're not brilliant. He's a very intelligent young man. I know he's intelligent. And contrary to him thinking that not making the degree for, or the scores for JAM to study medicine makes him not intelligent is not true. Because sometimes your focus at a particular time and the things you try to, especially when you don't understand why you're doing some things that you do, right? You will not put the same energy. Like he said, he graduated with a 2-2. Yeah, me too. In geology, first he didn't tell you. Maybe you just have you probably will just have one person that graduated with a 2-1, right? It was unarguably one of the most difficult courses in Unical then. It was terrible. In fact, they call it a sadist department. I graduated with a 3.28, not a 2.21, but it was a 2.2, and it was good. For my class, I was among the first 10. So I'm not dull like him. However, he did not also tell you that when he did his master's, he was among the first, the brightest people that graduated. He didn't tell you that part. So what changed? Also, when I did my master's, same school, I was the best graduating student. What changed? You did it with proper understanding. You're paying your fees yourself. You know why you're here, right? So nobody's giving you money from somewhere. So you know your priorities and you're working towards achieving that. I mean, you're working and I used to go to night class. Even 5 years ago, I was still going to night class. So the question was passion and opportunity and you making money. Well, that would take me to something I'm supposed to talk about later, which is taking advantage of your environment, your comparative advantages. Every one of us has something called a comparative advantage. The comparative advantage is that thing that you can do better than the next person. That thing that you have opportunities around you to do it better than the next person. An opportunity came around. Not everybody had the opportunity to meet a friend that will give them an opportunity to work in a tech space. The fact that you had that leverage gives you a comparative advantage over the next person that's looking for a job, right? So you take advantage of that environment and work towards it to achieve your goals. If you're having satisfaction problem, which is a secondary problem, there is a triangle. I don't know who is a management student here or graduate here. There is a triangle called the hierarchy of needs. I beg, waiting there for the lower part of the hierarchy. Somebody mentioned that it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What's on the lower bottom of the triangle, the base? Good. Physiological needs. And what are those needs? Food, shelter. Just make sure you are safe small. It is when you leave that level and get to the next level that you are beginning to look for other needs like self-actualization. See, self-actualization is saying that thing that now gives you happiness. Pride now comes in. It is when you have eaten and you are safe, right? Yes, now. I don't understand if you people were not poor like me when I was small. Is it not a rich child that will tell, Mommy, I don't want to eat bread and tea today, I want to eat pasta? I mean, I didn't even know what was pasta. It's only Indomie we knew, and spaghetti, right? So that you're not making a choice because you have passed the level of survival. At that ground level, you are trying to survive. Survival does not differentiate, right? It's when you have moved past that level and gone to another level that you begin to select. When you have rice, beans, Indomie, plantain, everything in your house, that's when you now start writing menu, designing menu. Yes. As a child, the only breakfast I knew was bread and tea. It was not because it was whatever. It was the easiest. We're in Lagos. My father leaves the house at 5:30. So we need to have breakfast because he's going to drop us at school in the morning. So the easiest breakfast that we can get is bread and tea. So on his way back from work the next day, he will bring bread. The next morning, we'll have bread and tea. And we will go. Some people will listen, they'll think that it is privilege. It's not privilege. We didn't have a choice. I remember when I used to tell a friend, my friend would tell me, bring your bread to school. I will give you 50 kobo. His parents did not have time to even make breakfast for them. His parents were business people. They gave him money. But I was desiring what he had. And he was desiring that he had a home where he could sit down with his family and have breakfast in the morning. So you first of all think of survival before you think of comfort. When you have survived and you've made a lot of money from the tech company, that tech company can now establish that thing that makes you happy. I do it. I have a song I like to sing. When I was in school, he knew. I used to be like pop boy, right? Yeah, they've sent me out of the class a lot of times for dressing inappropriately. They call it inappropriate dressing. They only see me with baggies, big shirt, bandana on my head and stuff. I used to even wear studs, but no hole in my ear, because my father would kill me, right? So on my way to school, I would braid my hair. I have these very nice cousins. One of those girls on Delta adverts those days, one of the girls was my cousin. If I'm going to school, she'll say, stop at my place. I'll stop. She'll call all her friends. They'll braid my hair. Nice, nice, nice. I'll go to school. That's the kind of pain I would take. On my way back, I will go back to the place. They will loosen the hair. But then I understood that these things are ephemerals, but they did not change your focus. You must understand where you want to go to. So imagine starting as a geology student, graduated. All I wanted to do was work in Shell. Not even any other oil company, it was Shell. I was purposefully driven. I was National Vice President of Geology and Mining Students. I was National Association of Petroleum Explorationist President in the country. All my mind was to work with Shell. But things happen. Economic situations will change. And when they change, you need to make decisions and choices that fit into the new decision. But now what am I doing? I'm begging people for money. Right? I started working in a bank. After rejecting like 3 jobs, I saw that, oh boy, if you keep rejecting, you won't be able to feed yourself, right? And then I started working in the bank. But when you find yourself in a new position, what do you now do? You have to make yourself competent in that situation so that you are actually the best person. So that's why mentality it makes a lot of sense. You must understand that you are here by opportunity. And you must now act to take advantage of that opportunity. Now, from science to finance, I needed to act to be able to have a fit where I was. But it took me about 5 years to understand that I needed to act. It was in my head, another problem, procrastination. I was procrastinating. Oh, in 2 years, if I don't get a job in an oil company, I will do this course, I'll do this course to keep me strong in finance. It took me 5 years. And it took somebody else to hold me by hand and remind me that your CV is dry, but you are an asset because I've related with you. Some people work in bank for 20 years, they never see an MD. It was an MD, took an MD, and at a very odd hour, about 12 p.m. in the night, he held me and said, Michael, I've looked at your CV, your performance and the person you are is bigger and speaks better than your CV. Why? Because I've not done anything in banking. Then I had to take various steps, which I'll talk to us later and see who it will motivate. And today, I'm a doctor in finance. Abi? Because I took steps. So we'll talk about it later. But for now, let's stop here. Don't mind me, I'm a marketer. I like to talk plenty. Welcome, my senior brother.
Please put your hands together. Thank you so much, sir, for that powerful contribution. All right, so our final question for this segment is, this is to Dr. Akomaye. Briefly explain in more. Sounds like WAEC. Briefly explain in more details how life operates with the interaction of demand and supply.
Okay. So, well, the question is from what I said earlier when we got started. But before I go to answering the question, all of our speakers are seated, and can we celebrate all of them? Right, Honorable Dr. Hilary Bisson. Come on, keep going, keep going, keep going. Honorable Dr. Michael Odere, and Right, Honorable John God Label. Come on, make it bigger. A little bit bigger. More like it. More like it. I want to thank all of you for gracing this occasion, and I know you have to run, but let me say this. The purpose for Leadership Conference, especially Calabar, primarily was to inspire our people to have a change of mindset. One of the biggest challenges in Cross River State is the challenge of a wrong mindset. And we have a lot of potential. And I have met Cross Riverians in different parts of the world, doing amazing feats, amazing things. I also believe that we have a lot of potential in this state. But if we don't change our thinking, nothing is going to change. Cross River can become Lagos. I mean, not just for size and the things they have, but we can start thinking like the people in these places, because every geography is predominantly furnished by the mindsets, the average collective mindset of the people. You would find that there's a culture of laxity, lethargy, and leisure in our city and in our state. You will find that in places like Lagos, it's not like people don't flex and do those things, but there is a culture of commerce in the place. How can we have a culture of commerce? How can we have people who are thinking forward? How can we have people who are thinking productivity? That's why this conference has been put together. Now, why did I choose our speakers? Cross River has very intelligent people. And like I said, I've met them all around the world. People who are very intelligent. Thought leaders, people doing great in business, doing great in different sectors, right? And I always like that we can look at our people beyond their offices, because there is too much said about politics here. There are people who are not developing themselves. They are not doing anything. They are just waiting to clinch a political position. Political positions are very good, and I'm happy that we have some great people in those positions. But I do not think we should just wait, do nothing, and just want to be around politics. And it's something that is ravaging our state, and I don't think it's the best. We have people who can profile solutions, people who have great gifting, people who have great potential, people who can add value. Can we go about doing it? And if peradventure in the course of doing that, we're asked to do something that entails occupying an office, that's great. But you can't refuse to do anything just waiting for an office. I don't think that's the best. So, we have chosen the speakers for this year based on their ability to add value, not just because they occupy a political position. I want you to celebrate them one more time. So thank you very much for being part of this. Thank you for supporting it, and thank you for adding value to us. Now back to the question, the interactions of demand and supply. I said life functions basically on the interactions of demand and supply. And if you put everything we've said so far together, you see that when you add value, what you have will be needed, right? Because for everything you have, if you develop and empower what you have, the gifting you have, the ideas you have, they will solve a problem. Because every one of us was wired to solve problems in a unique way. Now, so when you find your problem-solving genius, you activate it by building capacity, learning, growing, and then you know how to deploy it. So you can have something you believe is on the inside of you, but it's not yet attracting rewards because you've not, one, identified it, you've not developed it, you have not put it in a shape where it can solve the problems that can attract rewards back to you. So if you solve problems, you will attract rewards. Now, if you solve problems on a very high level, or if you train yourself to solve complex problems, then the demand for what you offer will also grow, right? Now, in economics, when demand exceeds supply, what happens in the market? When demand exceeds supply, there is scarcity. And when there's scarcity, what happens to price? When supply exceeds demand, what happens? What happens? Oh, come on, people. What happens? Prices are compelled to fall. Now, but why would supply exceed demand? Okay. There are many different factors. Yeah, so give me examples. Someone said, okay, change in policies. Too many people doing the same thing. Lack of creativity. So how can I stay in the place where my demand or the demand for what I do is greater than the supply? Uniqueness, innovation, branding, what? Consistency, competence. Truth is, if there's innovation and uniqueness, you will continue to stand out. And there won't be many people who are doing the same thing you're doing in the same way you do it.
Is that the best you can do? Please, can we put our hands together? Please, sir, before you run, we're just going to take a group photograph. Please, can you put your hands together for our guest again? Yes, sir, please. Yes, okay. So you first, there will be the first one where you're facing the audience, and then the second one where you're back in the audience. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Please, sir, then you just back the audience. Please, can we all just stand for a bit? Thank you very much. The photographer is coming. He's here. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Please, can you put your hands together once again? Come on, people. Put your hands together. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. How many of us are enjoying the conference so far? Are you sure? Please, can we appreciate our speakers who have spoken so far? We've received dozens of questions that we do not have the time to take, But what we're going to do is we will create a Facebook group where some of these questions will be attended to, videos will be sent. How many of us will love that? How many of us won't love that? How many of us registered online or on site? If you have not registered, please raise your hand. If you have not registered, just indicate by raise of hand. We've all registered? Have we all registered? You haven't registered. Please, ushers, can we help him with a registration form? Okay. So there'll be a Facebook community, and it's not just for the purpose of this event, but for building this community, the leadership conference. So when the conference goes to another city, for those of you that might move to another city, to another country, wherever it is in the world, leadership conference will surely come to a city near you. So the goal is, just like a couple of our speakers have shared, you might get to network with someone in this city, in another city, that might just be the recommendation and connection that opens up some very interesting doors for you. So if you're one of those people who do not like to connect, who do not like to be part of a community, one of the lessons you should have learned so far is to change that attitude and begin to connect, begin to build relationships, because it is really important. You can be very intelligent and still broke, correct? Let us, if you've registered, after the event, you'll receive an email to your email addresses. If you know you gave us a dummy email that's not working, please correct it and fill the form again. You'll receive an email, everybody who registered, that'll give you links to all the resources, free resources, audio teachings on leadership, and as well to join the community. Do we love that? Yeah. All right, please let's put our hands together again. And I'll invite our chief host and convener who will tell us the next event. Please can we put our hands for Dr. Akomaye.
At this juncture, I'd like to welcome our next speaker, Honorable Dr. Michael Odere, as he takes the very next session. Come on, make him welcome with a big one. A big one, a big one.
Don't mind me, I play a lot. It's good to play. I mean, why be serious when you can play? Okay, it's work call. But I'll call back later. Jude, please pick this call. Sorry, sometimes. The what? Oh, this guy doesn't like. It's not possible. Lie. For what? He wants me to talk for only 10 minutes. When will people now ask questions? He would have left me to stay in my house now. How will I talk for 10 minutes? I've never read Bible. See, there's a timer that is 14 minutes. Anyway, who has a Bible on their phone? Okay, let's do Romans 12:2. Who asked you? See, we have to make it fast. Okay, one person will do Romans 12:2, the other person will do Philippians 4:8, Proverbs 3:5-6, and Psalm 35. Everything that I want to say is in the Bible. Everything that we are doing here is in the Bible. But we are not in church. It's not because of him. Sometimes proofs that back up your assertions. Okay, so they give you some level of credence to whatever you're doing. So it's good. So anybody? Romans 12:2. Okay, good.
Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable.
This was the title of this our event today. What did the Bible say? Do things differently. Rethink. So it's in the Bible. I don't know whether that's where he got it from, but it's in the Bible. So the Bible has said it. So if you do not believe that we need a mental reorientation and a rethinking of the mind, your Bible has said it. Philippians 4:8.
Yeah, Philippians 4:8. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise.
What does that mean? The first part of it says what?
Fix your thoughts.
Where do you spend your time? Think about things. Everything that he talked about are things that make you happy and prosperous. So what is he saying? Put your mind in thoughts that will reshape your actions so that your actions will bring about prosperity. Abi? Proverbs 3:5-6.
Proverbs 3 from verse 5.
Are you a pastor? All right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Verse 6. Seek his will in all you do.
Good. Seek his will. Trust in the Lord. Seek his will. Stop there.
Thank you, sir.
Now, what is this one is telling you is, you might be thinking that thing that you will do that will make you blow, hammer, successful, is a particular thing. But God has his way of directing you through to the direction, the place that will lead to your success, your own blowing in God's way. So when you go to school and you are studying a particular course, because you have seen a particular vision you have seen, but God has not seen that vision for you. He begins to make things difficult in some places, challenging in some places, impossible in some places, so that it will move you to a direction that he has ordained for you. So when those things start happening, rethink your environment and take advantage of the opportunities that are available to you at that point in time. It might just be God leading you to where you want to go to. All right? Does it make sense? Okay. The fact that people are quiet is, I was wondering. Okay, so the last one is Psalm 30, verse 5.
Yes, Psalm 30, verse 5.
Sorry, okay. Pastor, hold on. Pastor, chill. You're threatening me. Let's allow the lady.
Psalm 30, verse 5.
I like your color anyway.
Thank you, sir.
And you're wearing the colors of your color. Is that right? Go ahead.
Thank you. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning.
Joy comes in the morning. I don't understand. Does it make sense to any of us? You might think that you're suffering. You're working, you're toiling, you're doing everything. But even the Bible has told us, when you have all of those things and pressure yourself and put energy and work to it, there will definitely be light at the end of the tunnel. So joy will definitely come in the morning. So may we receive joy in the morning in Jesus' name. All right, I'm not a pastor. Far from it. But so that being said, right, because I have only 9 minutes to go, I want us to do, all of us. So I'm going to just give us an activity that we'll go and do. Thank God we are creating a community. For me, I don't think that arranging young, brilliant, smart, good-looking people like you and talking to them is enough. After here, what next? Okay? And if we cannot put up a structure that can make us track the performance and the improvements in the lives of the people that we have spoken to in a particular time, then what we probably will be doing is what the Igbo people will say, a snake is biting the shell of a tortoise. It means it's an act of futility. In futility, no effect. Even if it's 2-3 people, we must be able to follow through to make sure that their life has been changed from one level to the other. They have something that they are doing right now that is improving their lives because of this conference that they attended. Okay? Because even in the country, we give a lot of grants. The government gives a lot of grants to people. But one of the biggest problems is when you give people grants or give people aids for particular projects and there is no follow-through to see how they are performing, it makes people very redundant and very carefree, right? And so they might not even use the grant or the funds for the things that you've asked them to do with the money because there is no follow-through. So from this conference, I hope that Pastor Akomaye will be able to create a structure that we can find out, talk to our people, How are we doing? You thought about this, you dreamt this, what have you done about it? Let us even see if we can track, if we can help, because it's about, sometimes mentorship is about checking up. Some people like to give reports. They only work when they know that I have to give a report, right? I don't study except I have an exams. So if I have exams now, I can stay morning till the next morning because I want to pass the exams. But if the exams is in 3 weeks, trust me, I'm a last minute person. I will wait till that time. So some people want to be sure that there's going to be a follow through, there's going to be check-up before they can act. But if that's all we need to do to make people act, then why not do it? So we'll work on that. So the assignment is, first of all, know that success is not about what advantages or what resources we have at our disposal. It's about what we do with those things, okay? So I want all of us, because it's going to be an assignment for the tomorrow, and if that's the only thing that I can do for 6 minutes, we will work on it. Re-examine yourself, okay? So you re-examine yourself. Everyone, re-examine yourself. Do a self-assessment of who you are, socially, physically, everything. And that reassessment of self is going to include what you're doing right now and what you want. I know I wasn't here when Pastor spoke, but I overheard him say stuff about plans and all of that. Before you make plans, reassess yourself. Check what you're doing right now. Check if it's the best thing that you can be doing with all the potentials that you have, all the people that you know, the funds that is available at your disposal. And reassess yourself, okay? So know the things so that you're sure if is this what I'm supposed to be doing, okay? Then answer that question. If it's not what you're supposed to be doing that you are doing based on your circumstances around you, then you know that you need to rethink, okay? And recreate yourself. So let's do that. Re-examine self. After we re-examine self, if we are true to ourselves, we would know if we are doing the wrong things or the right things. And then what we now do after that will be reorganizing self. Okay? So I have examined myself. I'm not where I'm supposed to be because of ABC challenges. I'm not where I'm supposed to be because I've not done ABC. I'm at the right place, I'm at the right projector, but I'm not moving forward because of ABC. So you would know. You will know what you've been procrastinating about. You will know the wrong things that you have been doing instead of doing something else. So reorganizing yourself is putting yourself back on track to where you're supposed to be based on that understanding that you have from re-examining self. And you must be true to yourself. Forget what the next person is doing. Forget how they pop champagne and what is success, what they do that makes them successful. This is self. Think about yourself. Work on it on yourself. And when you do that, design a pathway to take decisive actions. I'll tell you one of the sweetest thing that ever happened to transport is the Google Map, Abi? I mean, you can just go to a new place, you don't know anybody, you just get into a car and put up your map, your Google Map, tell you where you want to go to, and then what will happen? Will it take you there? If you get into a car and put a location on your Google Map, will the car take you there? Will the car take you there? It won't? Why not? You have to do what? You have to, so you have to move the car, Abi? The next thing that I want you to do is, because you understand that very basic thing like the Uber and stuff, you put your location, it's waiting for you to act. It can only give you your next step when you act. So you must act. And your little actions add up and make you meet the distance, the mileage that you want to go to, and takes you to that destination. If you do not act and you stay in that car, that thing will be looking at you from morning till night. And you'll be wondering why you're here. Because why? You have not pressed the pedal. So the Google map, even when you act and you take a wrong turn, what will it do? It will not fight with you or quarrel you, Abi. It will reroute you. It will tell you, yes, you've gone this way. It won't even tell you it's the wrong way. It won't tell you you have entered the wrong turn. It will just redesign your route and tell you how to get to the place. It will only tell you you will get here 5 minutes longer. The route you have taken will take you 2 minutes longer or so. It's simple. That's how life is. So if you do not act, you will not get to that place. You can write on Facebook. We have become Facebook people. We have become Twitter agents and everything. I don't know if it's because of the monetization of social media that we just need to now go in. And then we insult people at will because we think that we know better. Somebody said something. Our generation is wishing that we can redesign the world to suit our purpose. The world is the world. You cannot change the temperature of the world. Little actions that we take affect the climate. But you cannot just wake up, and it happens over time. So you must try to fit into a bigger system that is bigger than us. And that means conforming to that system means looking at the system and designing the steps the way we would live to make us very comfortable in that system that we have found ourselves. So the next action will be, the next thing that we need to do will be our actions. We have re-examined self. We have told ourselves whether truthfully, whether we are doing the things we are supposed to be doing or we are not doing them. We have now done what? Redesigned ourselves, or re-examined ourselves. What's the second one? Reorganized ourselves. After reorganizing, we now have more clarity on where we need to be going. And then the next thing is to design a course of action that will take us to that place. Okay? And when they form this community, trust me, I'll take out at least 30 minutes of my time every day to look at comments that we'll have in that community and people that we need to talk to. I don't want to work with lazy people. I don't even have that time. That's right? I don't have the time. So anyone that is serious, that is willing to move from one level to the other, we are available to see how we can work together. Because it is, Pastor said something. He said, it's the average energy or the average brilliance or the average intelligence of all of us that makes us move forward. In my own words, that's not his words. I mean, he will say it like the Bible, but I can't say it like that. But he's saying the collective thinking of all of us is what gives us the societal IQ level. Okay? So we must try to upgrade and work with ourselves. Trust me, doing that is not, I'm not helping you, I'm even helping myself. Because the more people become more millionaires, the less pressure will be on me to create money for people, Abi. Right? So we must create these millionaires. And I don't believe in handing out to people. I believe in creating, teaching people. And the funny thing is the world has very simple rules. Very simple. If you continue to do one thing consistently, it will add up and you become better at it. And you must make a living if you try. If you don't try, that's where the problem is. Like I said earlier, first degree geology. How I started and became a chartered accountant before people that studied accounting, became a chartered banker, became chartered in taxation, became chartered in finance and control, became chartered in risk management. So I have like 10 certifications plus a doctorate in banking and finance. But I didn't start from there. I took the wrong turn, right? But I discovered that it's taking me longer time to get to where I'm supposed to get to, and I had to reroute myself. But then I needed to check the environment. Which area boy will I say hello to make me have credence in this bad road that I have entered? So you begin to do one certification that gives you more confidence. And sometimes we think that studying does not expand or elucidate the brain or give us more vividity or lucidity in the way we behave, the way we think, the way we interact, the way we talk. But trust me, every time you write an exams, every time you study, every time you go to school, your brain is expanded in a way that you don't even understand. And your rational thinking changes. it got to a point where my environment, I did not think that, it was always like I was ahead of the thinking of even people that were my bosses. Because of why? I was studying to get certificates. Trust me, I wasn't studying to know. The only time I was studying to know was when crypto came into space, and people did not have a lot of understanding, and I needed to have an understanding because a lot of my customers, my clients, I was a banker, will always talk to me for investment decisions, and I needed to know to give them answers. So I had to go look for a way to study digital currency and crypto, and just to study to know it. And then he guided me. But who told me that someday I'll be at the helm of affairs of deciding what investment decisions the state makes? Because we have tried in our small bits. But that's not the dream I saw. The dream is still far, and we will get there. That's why I need all of us to be able to restructure ourselves and see how we can work with each other to become better people. So my own is an assignment I'm giving to you. I'm not coming to tell you how to become the biggest man, but it starts within you. It starts from you. When we read all the part the Bible said, it did not say, make the other person do this to you. It did not tell you about, there's no part of it that said government should do this or do that. It starts with us. So it is us. So let's put ourselves in that position and see how we can move together. And I think the first 5 people that will be able to put a very structured program of how to, don't come and tell me you want to go and do masters abroad or something or whatever. That's not, that is a plan, but you must think how you can fuel that plan, okay? So have something that is feasible, achievable, okay? And then design those plans that will get there. Let me not say what I was going to say, but I think we'll work with that together. So who will work with this assignment? Some people don't want to work. We don't like work. Huh? Don't worry, we'll work and work together and we'll all be successful in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
Come on, make it bigger, 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 bigger. So we have one more speaker. And after that, by the way, we have the reigning champions of the Voice of Paradise gospel music competition in Cross River State, organized by Cross River State government. So we have the reigning champions here, and I asked them to come so that after all the speakers have spoken, we can get ourselves charged up a bit, and then we'll take a few more minutes and close. Well, with a rousing ovation, I'd like us to welcome the former Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly, Right Honorable 𝐀𝐤𝐭 𝐏𝐬𝐭. Come on, make it big. To give us a powerful 15 minutes.
Thank you. Please sit. You'll bear with me. Unfortunately, I lost my voice. Been doing some field work offshore, and my last sister is getting married today, so I've been in the field. It's been really hectic. So we are talking about mentality shifts. So I'll start by saying that every object of existential value, anything that has a value chain or has a source of existence, works with what is called a central processing system. God has designed the world in such a way that every object you find that is working, whether it is animate or inanimate object, has a central processing system. The car that you drive has an engine, but that is not what works the car. The car functions through what is called the brain box. If you ever owned a car, you know that once the brain box of your car parks, the car is gone. Aeroplane that you know functions through flight computer, black box, and a brain box. The drone that you see, drone that flies, functions through what is called autopilot. Space station, when they fly rockets, land in the moon, it functions through a process that is called cognitive neurology. The human mind, the human being's central processing system is the mind. The mind is the command center. God has structured the mind to be the engine room of a human existence. So every human being that you find, whether is intelligent, is smart, is foolish, is careful, is someone who is able to locate the critical importance of his mind. So the mind, your mind is your engine room, is your brain box. So what is mentality? Mentality is a habit, pattern, and a construction that puts the mind to work. When you put your mind to work, it creates a habit, it creates a pattern. Even if it's like Dr. Odere talked about, you go to school, you build capacity. That's what university degree will give you. When you work and you have experience, you build pedigree. So the mind is not enough. The engine is useless if the car is not driving. The process of driving the car, of driving the mind, is the mentality. So you talked about mentality shift. Mentality shift is not change of mentality, sorry. Mentality shift means being a little bit dynamic and flexible. The mind never changes. The human being never changes. You can only become flexible. If somebody is a difficult person, he's difficult, but he can be trained. Pastor can pray for him to be a little bit flexible. But somehow, once in a while, you will locate, you do that geological definition, you still find the man in his bad habits. Somebody can be a very good guy. Sorry for ladies, but he likes to cheat. He will be nice, they'll pray for him. One day he will go back. Maybe small. So that is what happens to the mind. So the mind, mental shift does not mean change of mind. The mind never changes. It is to be flexible, little bit dynamic. It's to be conscious about certain things. Now, there are certain infrastructure that is required to build a mentality shift. The first infrastructure is called knowledge, education. The second infrastructure is called knowledge management, putting education to work. I studied law in the university. I have a master's in international maritime law. I went to Lagos Business School, do a master's. I went to Harvard University. That whole process shifted me from the point of having knowledge and the point of doing knowledge management. If you have knowledge and you're so good, you remain in the university. If you have knowledge management, you'll be employed in a bank, you could be employed by state government, you could be given responsibility to manage what you have learned. That's knowledge management. Now, knowledge management is able to help you do certain things, which is what will help your mentality to change. Number one is that it will create what is called perception engineering. Every serious-minded person on earth must have a perception, a belief pattern. There's something you must believe in. So it's an engineering process of the mind. When they mention a topic, there is a subconscious faculty in our mind that will give you an idea that this is what it means. It may be wrong at the end of the day. But that first level, that cognitive indication that shows you that this is what you're talking about, is very, very important. It's called perception engineering. You must have a perception about any issue. Even if it is wrong, please have a perception first. You can correct it later. Only fools don't have perception. There's nothing wrong in your perception being wrong because you will correct it later. How do you correct it? It's called through perspective drawing. When you have a perception, the perspective, when you put it out to people, they will say, where is this one coming from? They will correct you immediately. So your mind begins to shift when you have a perception, when you deploy perception engineering, and when you now have a perspective drawing. People begin to share. They will ask you, what is your opinion about a particular issue? As we're explaining, that is your perspective drawing. Is that okay? So The last point of that infrastructure is called thinking, thought process. Everything about the mind has this infrastructure. The one of them is thought. How do you think? When I was in Lagos Business School, I was taught that you think through 3 ways, even though it has changed. Because it's almost like 17 or 19 years ago. I say first you think inside of the box, where you are limited by culture, by tradition, by pattern, by organizational code. Number 2, they say you think outside of the box, when you try to be innovative, creative, and all of that. Number 3, they say you think as if there is no box, disruption. Number 4, box office thinking. That thinking comes in, is a 5-star thinking process. How many of you have watched what they call box office movies before? Do you know box office movies? Please Google them. Hollywood can do 300 films in a year, but there will be only 1 box office movies in a year. Probably worth like $1.2 billion. They bring in people with perfection intelligence to act that. So a thinking process go through that whole code. So thinking and putting your mind to work now brings you to the difference. The reason why why your mentality can shift and begin to do things is 2 things that will happen. Number 1, you become intelligent, so there's intelligence, number 1. Number 2 is consciousness. Number 3, sense of awareness. Education is very good. Education used to be the key to success, is it not? But technology threw away that key several years ago. Technology has made sure that there is no key at all. That is why somebody can sit on social media and learn how to and use AI and write good English. Meanwhile, he's a plumber or a panel beater. The world has changed. The world has been disrupted. But when you hear about intelligence, please know that there are 3 different or 4 different categories of intelligence. Number 1, there's the fairly used intelligence. Fairly used intelligence. When they say good morning in Calabar or good morning in Akpabuyo, and you hear, it is because you heard everybody is using it and it's very common, it's fairly used. When they use all these slangs that they do on social media skit, you learn it is fairly used. Sometimes you don't even understand the meaning, but it's fairly used. Number 2 is repetitive intelligence. Nobody has ever invented anything. What you're learning today is what somebody has done before, maybe 300 years ago, another person brought it to life. The most intelligent people deploy repetitive intelligence because you cannot. The drone system that we're using today was available like 1,000 years ago, but in a different form. People only upgraded them. Repetitive intelligence is always important when you find that what you're doing now, somebody else has done it before. You deploy it and add some value to it. The 3rd one is surface intelligence. Surface intelligence is very deceptive. Cheap people, intellectually cheap people understand things only from the surface. They try to define a program, and then you see only the first sentence. You conclude that you already know it. You just jump into and start talking what you don't know. It is deployed from surface engineering, the foundation upon which engineering systems are built. But people always work with surface intelligence. The last is perfection intelligence. Very few people in the world have gotten to the level of perfection intelligence. The world has been driven by surface. People who have mentality shift work through surface, repetitive, and fairly used intelligence. It is the value you add on top of it that will make the difference. What has mentality shift? What evidence shows you that there has been mentality shift? The world has been governed by a change of mentality of just some few peculiar people. The world started with what is called the first industrial revolution. First industrial revolution was made up when they found steam, they found locomotive. The first train that you find, but used to come, they'll put firewood in it, light the coal. Once it's very heat, the engine will start moving. The second industrial revolution was the agricultural revolution. That was when all those plantations in South America were built, and they came and carried all of our grandparents as slaves to go and build sugarcane factories in Brazil, and then carried some Africans to go and plant cassava in Argentina. I don't know if you know that story. Yes, Google, cassava was found in Argentina, carried Africans to Argentina. Sugarcane carried from Africa to Brazil. All of those people, all those islands you find in Barbados, Siskai and Venda, Jamaica, were all black people who moved. After being enslaved, they ran away into small islands and formed those islands. And so that was the Industrial Revolution when agriculture was the biggest deal. People found mechanization came into it. Then came the third industrial. The difference between one revolution and another is 100 years. The third industrial revolution brought you digital systems, GSM systems, computers, and what you have. The fourth industrial revolution has brought you AI and what you have. The fifth industrial revolution is where technology, AI, will be adapted to human being. Where they say they are going to put chips in your body system. That's the fifth industrial revolution. That's the point where a human being, they will transfer the brain of a human being into a computer to work. He sits down at home while the computer is doing the work. That's the next level we are going through. So the world has transformed from that point to this. Now, mentality shift. What about your fashion? Fashion. These things you're dressing, you're not the first to dress like this. Go and check your grandparents. All this combat we are wearing, all these big boots. Our great. Check Afro. My grandmother used to have these mannequins with a wig and all of that. Okay? Several years ago. Maybe she died like 30 years ago. But if you go to our archive, family archive, you see it there. So wig is not new. People who think, whose mind has become flexible, continue to invent it and you follow them. What about music? You think Davido is the first musician on earth? You don't know about Fela Anikulapo Kuti? You don't know about Elvis Presley? You think Burna Boy is the best in what he's singing? Go back and read tradition and history. The difference is that Burna has been able to shift his mentality. Go back, pick some repetitive, fairly used intelligence, surface intelligence, add together, create value for all of you to use. What about sports, football? You think football started today? The rules have been changing. Those who are smart, who have that mental shift, have been moving the box, changing the game to bring it to more relevant to the contemporary generation. Let me tell you, the cheapest and the funniest set of people and the poorest set of people to live on earth is our generation. Because our generation were very lazy people. The world is about 8-point-something billion people. The total GDP of the world, if you look at it, there are more poor people on earth. Why? Because of what you call soft life. Things are so easy. Do you know that some of your parents to go to... My father went to University of Nigeria, in Nsukka, from my community in Abi to University of Nigeria. My father said they used to carry them on top of bicycle, drop them somewhere, they carry their box on their head and trek from Abakaliki to Enugu. Undergraduate students. Or they will wait for when long trailer is coming from the North Road, Goja, they go and wait somewhere in Yahe. They put them on top of that trailer and move them. These days, Dr. Odere spoke about, you just book Uber, you are in Enugu. We're a lazy set of people. So 4, 5, 6 people in the world have sat down together, created a mental shift technology system, and are controlling all of us. You want me to name 5 of them? Elon Musk. This your mental shift you're talking about. There are people who have realized that the biggest tool on earth is for them to sit down, look at the wall, draw a timetable, put a scale. If people live with this in 2, 3, 4 years, they should be able to move here. Number 2, Bill Gates. One of the first evidence of the changing dynamic world was introduced by Bill Gates, beyond the computers. Bill Gates' introduction of software. And what is the current Windows? Okay. Do you know that there was a Windows 1? Do you know there was a Windows 1? There was. Bill Gates is moving. When he started Windows 1, he had about $100 million. Where he is now, he's heading towards $1 trillion. By the time he gets to Windows 20, maybe your grandchildren, whether he's alive or not, it will continue to renew. The world is designed on software renewal. When they bring the next software, that your phone that you have, that your laptop, you go and buy the next application where it won't work. What about your iPhone? My cousin bought, say her birthday present was iPhone, they bought iPhone. Last week she said that one is no longer in existence, doesn't have, the software is no longer available. That is mental shift. So the world keeps moving. The question is that how many people recognize this tool? Of course, you know about Mark Zuckerberg, social media, Facebook and WhatsApp. And let me tell you something about Mark. Mark was someone who felt he was put under pressure by the US government. They wanted to ban him. They wanted to put a fine on him. He appeared before the US Congress. There was a lot of threat. So he decided to come back and do an experiment called vacuum analysis. He assumed that, assuming I'm no longer alive and all my computers and system and my software goes down, does the world have an alternative? You remember that time that Facebook and WhatsApp went down? It was just 24 hours. Nobody created anything alternative. They were begging the hell out of him. By the time he came back, he had like 2.4 billion subscribers. When he came back, he had 4.5. He is indispensable. That's how he was able to shift his mentality and make things happen for all of us. So finally, spiritually, for you to have a mentality shift, there's what is called epiphany moment. The moment of epiphany. A moment of spiritual realization that have remained in one place for too long. Cross River State's biggest problem is comfort zone. Calabar is too comfortable for people to start their life. Everything is too cheap. Government is available to give you everything. Dr. Michael Dere is available. If you send account number, he'll transfer money to you. It's true. It's true. I served as speaker now. I work with Senator Leal. I served as speaker, and I know. You transfer, you just collect your security vote, you start transferring to people. Life is very cheap. They came and then brought the food that was inside difficult terrains you carry, he put it on the table. So Prince Otu has come, he's trying to put everything together. People are gathered around the table, but they can't see the food. So Cross River State is too easy for you to start life. I remember after I graduated and all of that, and because of my grade in the law school, 2-1, I was given scholarship to do masters in Manchester. And I had the idea then that I will come and I want to stay in Calabar. Small, young me then. I complained to my father that the house rent in Abuja was too much. And my father said, the first test for you is to be able to work, earn more money to pay the rent in Abuja. That's success. In Calabar, where you have family house, you are not making progress. And so, do not find one of your greatest problems for your mentality to remain the same is your comfort zone. I'm not saying that Calabar is not, you cannot create that mentality. I have people working with me who have left London to come to work in Calabar, in Lafarge, in NNPC, at the airport, and they are paid not in foreign currency, but they are paid in excess of 1.something million. There are jobs like that in Calabar. But they have to build the capacity and get to that level. It is not the letter of letter of recommendation from the speaker or from the governor or announcing your name on radio that will bring that thing. I was telling Dr. Dere, one of the mistakes people make is that the people you find in government are not people who have run around carrying machete, cutlass, drinking odeshi, smoking all manner of things, following politicians. No. The people you find, see, politics has two things. Those who will run around politicians, cause violence. Once they announce result, the politician will sit down and look for people like Odere, Pastor, and myself, who have the capacity to drive the value chain. That is why I always say myself that I always feel, and I keep saying that I'm not a politician. Okay? I'm probably maybe like a political contractor or a hired technocrat. One, because at the end of the day, if I'm called to serve, I'll serve. My law firm, my consultancy, the other work I do, the passion is still there. And even when I left government, they called me back to do something, particularly not because I was speaker, but because of my capacity. And so what you need to do now is for all of you to identify the fact that your mindset is locomotive, is stable. What are the things you need to make it move? So I've designed that model. The infrastructure is there. Get education, acquire knowledge, get knowledge management skills, build your perception, which I call perception engineering, do your perception drawing, and then build a sense of consciousness. I think I forgot that. Consciousness and a sense of awareness. Be conscious about your environment and what is going on. Not because you want to copy from somebody or you want to be like somebody, but just to do an appraisal that something is going on. There's a difference between intelligence and a sense of awareness. Some people are intelligent, but they are not aware of what it takes for that your intelligence to move from square one to square two. A lot of you who are graduates and all of that will realize that education alone is not enough. It's a tool. But that tool, if you don't put it to work, it will remain the same. Have you ever seen, I have a matter I'm doing in court now with a professor of law, 25 or 26 years as professor of law. But the way he filed his application and the motion he tried to move, it was easy to file another motion and strike it off. He's a professor of law, but he has never put it to use. Finally, as children of God, always realize that for you to be successful in life, there's one tool that you need to deploy. It's called the tool of sacrifice. John 3:16, what did he say? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Whosoever believes in him shall not die, but shall have what? Everlasting life. God created heaven and earth. But God found it useful because of your sins to sacrifice his only Son. He sacrificed his only Son to cleanse your sin. So what makes you feel that you can succeed in life without sacrifice? If God himself can sacrifice. How many of you will have a child and say you should sacrifice your child for your community you will accept? You go to church and say they should pray against that kind of prophecy. So sacrifice comes from different aspects. The amount of time he put to education. You heard about Dr. Dere listing out his qualification. He was not doing it to come and make a point to anybody. He was building it because he has a picture of the future. He's probably like what I used to call as a future architect. You cannot get to a point that you don't see in your mind. Never. There's no luck in where you land to. It is designed. The picture, if you see a small picture of you in the corner of a village with 3 wives as chiefs, it will happen like that. It's not because your whole spirit and soul work towards realization of that vision. So you have to be a future architect. You have to begin to see design from the point of 80 or 90 years down, what will you be? And start designing, working up to that. That sacrifice requires that you work a lot, do a lot of dedication. Do you know one of the importance of doing a long design of your future? One of the things you would do, if you ever design your lifestyle, so you take age 85, for instance, if it pleases God, start working towards that. You'll be more concerned about your health. You'll be more concerned about what you eat. You'll be more concerned about drinking alcohol anyhow, smoking, all manner of things. I went to an event the other day. I saw some small young people like that. They were smoking something from one pipe. And when they finished, they didn't find a car. I said, look, I'll give you people transport. They thought I wanted to take them somewhere. I said, I'll give you 10K for transport. They said, thank you. How old are you? 17, 18. The oldest was 19. In the university, their parents, Abuja and all of that stuff. And I said, I like the fact that you guys are very good. This thing of removing this smoke from your nose is technology. I said, this is your technology. Can I buy the patent right? They started explaining that they were introduced with all manner of piercing in their body. You know, we have children too. I have kids. I have 4 girls. My first daughter graduated this year, software engineering AI. My second daughter is year 3 in the university, doing law. As a matter of fact, I always feel like maybe I was intelligent. No. But my first daughter taught me that I don't know anything because she made the first class, 4.9. Me, I didn't even go close to that one in my first degree. So, but the point I'm making is that sacrifice and putting a design around your life will help you to be see, all these things that people do, we are not conscious about our future. To be able to be like anybody here, to be able to be anybody sensitive in life, please take it as a responsibility. You don't need anybody to preach to you. Why do you, look, if I have opportunity, why should I come and tell you how to succeed? I'm not a motivational speaker. No, I'm not. Because if there was, the motivational speaker himself would have been Elon Musk. He won't be here. Life is not all about money. It's about value. And the biggest currency is called relationship. The relationship management strategy is more important than money. If you have money and you don't have a relationship, you die inside your house. So, put sacrifice together, realize that trying to outsmart other people will not take you anywhere further. Realize that sometimes you need to make sacrifice so that you too can be successful. Thank you.
Come on, make it bigger. Okay, we're down to the final moments of the conference, but I have questions for them. Honorable Hillary has left because he had something to catch up with, so I'm going to throw the questions. So set the timer, and everyone has 2 minutes to answer. They don't know the question I want to ask them, so I didn't give them room to prepare to, but I know that they have answers. They have answers. So my question is, if you were the governor of a state, any state, and you wanted to bring transformational change in that state, in whatever area, what are the first things you will do? You have 2 minutes to make your submission.
Any state? Okay, so it's the same everywhere. It follows through with the simple assignment that I gave to us. First of all, you will not assume that you know so much about the state before you became governor. You probably have a fair idea what you see from the outside. So the first thing I'll do is to re-examine self. Take a complete assessment of what the state is. So you need to know what your assets and your liabilities, meaning what do I have and what am I owing, okay? You now look at yourself, you check the same, I mentioned the word earlier, comparative advantage, a phrase rather. You need to now look at what your comparative advantages are. In Cross River State, for instance, we have comparative advantage in our soil type, our rainfall, our access to the Atlantic Ocean. The fact that we are bordered by about 5 other states gives us opportunity for commerce. We have intelligent people, brilliant people, so it gives us good human capital. Labor is cheap. You know, it's easy to do farm. We can grow literally anything. So in any place you find ourselves, you need to first do an assessment of the things that are available to you. What are the things that you can start with minimal effort to make it better than the next person will do it. So that is first of all what you have to do. So making a choice, I call it analyze this, I still do it even now that I'm not a governor, is analyze projects. What's the cost-benefit analysis of this project? How does it relate to this other project? For me to do a farm and for me to build a state library, how will it affect my people? What value will it add to my people? We might not see it today, but we might see it in the future. So, thank you.
You made it. Thank you. Honorable Right Honorable John Go. 2 minutes, and we have the timer. If you were the governor of a state and you intend to bring transformational change into that state, what would you do? Tell us in 2 minutes.
So, but first of all, I don't want to be governor.
If you were.
So, okay, no, I just had to put it right.
Right.
You know, so to be the governor of a state will require probably for me to do 3 things. The first is that every successive government has tried to solve problems in a particular way. There's no problem anybody has not tried to solve. So I cannot invent the problems. They are half solutions, halfway, one way or the other. The first thing is to find out what everybody else has done wrongly and what needs to be done to correct them. So for instance, maybe there's half constructed road, half completed schools and all of that. The payment of salary, gratuity, pension, nothing new. First, to start well means that you have to clean the past and get it properly right first. That's number 1. Number 2 is that the first challenge in crossover state is infrastructure. Infrastructure, I mean infrastructure from health, from education. You can hardly find a good hospital. I think we have some of the best eye clinic and air clinic in Nigeria. That one you must give it to this government. We have that. Tulsi Chanrai Foundation is one of. I have a friend of mine working in Ivory Coast. He was referred to come to Calabar for surgery. Yes, if you don't know, this Calabar Eye Center is the best in Nigeria. Yes. So the second thing is to put infrastructure together. That infrastructure including connecting people by roads, water, electricity, health facility, market system, and all of that. The third is make the local government a little bit independent. Because everybody who lives here comes from a local government. If your local government is comfortable, you can hardly come to Calabar to look for a house. If Bekwara can function properly, contractors can do contract in Bekwara, businesses can work in Bekwara, what would they come to do in Calabar? Then finally, employment opportunity is a big problem. But rather than create employment opportunity, what we rather do is to create what Dr. Dere talked about. TINAPA is a knowledge center. Build a center where people can get certification, get support from government to set up their businesses.
Awesome. Come on, come on, come on. Make it big. Do we have questions? Because we want the Purpose and Life crew, the reigning champions of the Cross River State Voices of Paradise. Is it Voice or Voices? Voices? Voices of Paradise Gospel Competition. The reigning champions are here. Okay, so there's just one question. Do you want to read it very quickly? Okay.
So, sir, this is for you, Right Honorable John Gold. Person says, I need clarity. I'm a business owner based in Calabar, but I have been thinking seriously about relocating to Lagos to open another branch. Here's the challenge. My business in Calabar hasn't grown to the point where it can work successfully without me. I'm the core member. I will complete my space until next year. I already purchased the form to start my master's program at the University of Calabar, but deep down I feel business will thrive better in Lagos because skincare and wellness have stronger markets there, while Calabar is embracing it slowly. I'm confused. What should I do?
Okay, there should be no vision. First of all, you have to design one thing at a time. You want to do a master's program, do a master's program. Because one of the things about the master's program, if it's not master's in theory that it teaches this, university just teach theory, you go back, what you've done in first degree, with this lecturer, with different technology, then you master's, quickly the PhD, and you're not. They still invite for people to pass. Yes, I did have a farm in Kefi. I want to employ people with the master's degree. The guy we had diploma in School of Agricultural Engineering, we've been perform better. So the advice would be that you may not be compliant at early stage between your business and the master's degree if you're not farming. So choose this one. Do your master's degree, it may give you a mentality, capacity, knowledge, and maturity to invest in that business over something. That's one number. The second option that you can sacrifice master's to the while and invest in business. Calabar is not bad in business, but you have to locate the ecosystem where the service economy of Calabar is driving towards. If we run Calabar, there are some businesses bringing Calabar into tomorrow. There are other businesses to bring it to traffic. Have a friend of mine, he owns one of the biggest nightclubs in Nigeria, runs one of the biggest nightclubs in London, and when I was governor, he went to Calabar, and was the first person that the lounge in Calabar. The first became, he just got the presidential student, he brought the best artists, set it up. The governor's really finished, went into that. 1 year down the line, he got a place on Marian. He rents this for 1 year, shows up in Calabar for 5 days, from 20 to 25th. Brought the best artists, this wine, best people come there. The amount of money he makes in 5 to 6 days in Calabar, he doesn't make it US in area for 1 year. For 5 days, consulted, everything you want to breathe. And he just comes, he works in Calabar for 5 days, but he got accommodation for a year and rents it to somebody. That person knows, you know that he must come to Calabar for those 5 days and look at that and work within that period of time. So if you want to do business, I'll find what to do. I don't know, you're saying that if you go to Calabar, even in the night, you see where people are from Marian, then I realize that one of the biggest driving goods in Calabar is food. There's this young people who have set up all these, check the accounts, see what they are doing. Then because they are doing that, anybody who is doing business of transfer of money, OPay, payment, portal, payment systems, fast internet, and all that will also work. The same thing with the environment. So check what will work in Calabar, and as much as possible, invest. The lines may be small. Well, Calabar economy is big enough that is above 40 billion in a month. Everything together, what government gets, what government NPC, what to Total, what comes to CBN, and all of that. So it's mad. So even if you make 0.01% of that, and you can 1.3 million in Calabar, but you have to crack the nut. How to do it? Crack the nut.
Making those changes. Be able to different perception from reality. You might just think that Lagos has market. You've forgotten that Lagos also has a lot of people in skincare. So a whole lot. So you can be here with the blind one item is the king. You can go to Lagos and you're struggling to survive. So you can create a niche, create brand here and ownership of your business. I think Calabar like a virgin environment. So where creativity and skill and all these can start here and you complete. And something that we're talking about today, it was more in Calabar than Lagos. Right? But yeah, something in business, in commerce, is the population and they have the population. But you can also start something that you can move out. And if you've gotten the degree, already in school and you're in the business here that can fund that admission, why not stay watch your business, your education, and then once you're done with that, you can think of the decision. At that point, you will know if you're the wrong turn, right turn, and restructure yourself to get back to where you want to get to.
Awesome. Well, at this juncture, with a drink for everyone, there's going to be a cold drink, something just give you energy to get out think. When you leave the village, you have a lot of things to do. I mean, you shouldn't just hear and go back in your regular business. You should think about the things you've heard, process them, and also structure what actions you need to from here. Shall we welcome the PLC for their presentation? Come on, make it big for these people. Our heads are hot, and we need them to sit down some inspiration. So please be bigger for them as they come. They don't have everything they need to make this music happen. It's a conference setting, but I'm sure they'll try to make something out of what we made available.
Hallelujah. Give your neighbor a warm smile and say all the things that we have today. My status is definitely changing. Hallelujah. My status is changing. There's no more decline. I'm on my way to better days. Oh. My status is changing. There's no more decline. I'm on my way to better days. What can I test to this world through our days? By what's tangible and easy to carry. Oh, there are days where it seems we're going no way fast. Trust your faith to show you true. Oh, my status is come on, no more decline. We're on our way to better days. Oh, your status is changing. There's no more decline. I'm on my way. Oh, I'm on my way. Our status is changing. No more decline. I am on my way to better days. Oh, my status is changing. No more decline. I'm on my way. Oh, I'm on my way. I don't know about you. I am on my way. Better days. I'm on my way. I am on right now. I am on my way. So better days. One more time. On my way. On my way. I am on my way. So many days. Oh, so I won't go back. I can't go back to the way you before your presence came. Hey, today I won't go back. I can't go back. I can't go the way before your presence came. Oh no, I won't go back. I can't go back to the way that it used to be. Before your presence came and changed. I will go back. I go back. But no, to the way that it used to be before your presence came. Before your presence came and changed. Hey, so right now is the day. I'm in change. I am in. Hey, it's when it lets me down. I go back to the way before your presence came and changed. Say I won't go back. I can't go back. Come on, I can't go back to the way before your presence came and changed me. So I can never go back. No, it's already too late. No, it won't make sense. No, I can never go back. Tell me, where am I going to? I can never go back. No, it's already too late. I can never go back. Say I can never go back. And it's already too late. It won't even make sense. It's already too late. So I won't go back. I can't go back to the ways you before it came on the journey. Oh, I won't go back. I can't go back to the ways you before it came. Oh, so much appreciation.
Can you give it a PL from Honest Representative? Thank you, everyone. I want to again specially thank Honorable Dr. Michael Odere. He was one of the first people I talked to about this conference, and he's been in from the first day we spoke. I'd like you to celebrate him with a big, 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 big God bless you. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you. The drinks going around were given to us by one person. First Options Foods. Agnes is right here. And she gave all those drinks for free. That was her contribution to the conference. Come on, help me celebrate that. We also have amazing volunteers. Chi-John, what's her name again? The other photographer. Osa. And we have different people who volunteered for protocol, ushering, all our amazing volunteers. Can you help me give them a big, just somehow be part of the community so that we can keep the discussions going. You also had the Commissioner for Finance. He gave an assignment, and the top five entries, something is going to happen to them. We're not telling you specifically, but something to make sure that they can move whatever they have planned to the next level. And also, there's going to be a traffic of information that can keep you engaged and can keep pushing you towards the right direction. It's been a pleasure serving you, and I look forward to seeing you again at the next edition. My name is Dr. Akomaye Ugar, and I'm the pastor of Honey Streams Christian Center. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I'd like to ask Honorable Commissioner any last word before we leave. Any last word?
I love you all. Anyway, just know that your greatness is in you. I mean, it doesn't matter what anyone says to you. If you're not willing to change, that change won't come. So greatness is in you. And like I said earlier, I actually love you all.
Okay, so let's all take a picture. Make sure you are in this photograph. Where's Henry Ekesima? Where is he? Okay.
Please, also, for those of you that came late, the access to join the community will be sent to your email. So if you haven't registered, there is a table just at the exit door. Please put in your details for us, else there is no way we can contact you to join the community. Thank you. So we'll be doing a selfie with Dr. Akomaye, and the response we'll be doing is Leadership Conference Calabar. So please, let's all stand as we wrap up the event. Yes, sir. So I'll say 1, 2, go. When I say go, just say Leadership Conference Calabar. Are we together? 1, 2, go. Can we do it better? 1, 2, go. Please put your hands together for yourselves.